Hello everyone, this is PED 6101 Physical Fitness, and again, this is Miss Angel Melegrito. So for today's lesson, we're going to discuss musculoskeletal system, no? Sa lesson natin ngayon, mas maintindihan natin yung role ng system na ito, especially, of course, connecting no sa subject natin, which is physical fitness. Mas makikita natin yung role niya, at of course, yung connection niya, hindi naman sila magkakahiwalay, no? Mas maintindihan natin yung importance ng system na to when it comes to physical fitness. Ayan yung mga roles niya. And of course, hindi lang yung roles, even yung mga parts, no? Yung structure, yung bumubuo sa system na ito. So, ilan lang yun sa mga madidiscuss natin and other exercises, no? Na under pa rin ng lesson na ito. So, yun yung ilan sa mga madidiscuss natin. But, let's start. Ayan. So, of course, we're going to start with the basic human anatomy and physiology of the musculoskeletal system. When we say human anatomy, we're talking about the parts, no? And different, ang tawag dito, structures, yun yung tinutukoy natin when it comes to anatomy. And when we say physiology, ano naman yung mga function, no, ng mga parts na to? Kasi it's impossible na meron tayong parts and they don't have role or function. So lahat ng mga madidiscuss nating parts or structure ng system na ito ay meron mga roles, no, na ginagampanan sila when it comes to of course in different areas. Ayan, hindi naman sila pare-parehas ng function. So ilan yan din sa mga madidiscuss pa natin o ma-elaborate pa natin sa lesson na ito. Ayan. So of course, let's define what is musculoskeletal system. Although based on the title, baka may idea na kayo if you're familiar with muscular system or the skeletal system, no? It's actually both, no, ng dalawang to na pinagsama sila. Kaya nabuo yung tinatawag natin na musculoskeletal system. And this system is made up of the body's bones, like, of course, what we know, the skeleton. We have the muscles, cartilage, tendons, ligaments, joints, and other connective tissues that supports and binds tissues and other and organs together. So, yan yung mga ilan sa mga actually madidiscuss natin. We actually have three main parts of the system. Although hindi naman talaga sila nahahati-hati, iisa lang naman talaga sila, no? Pero since para mas maintindihan natin yung lesson natin, we will divide that into three, no, main parts. We have first, of course, yung bones. Second, we have connective tissues, and then the last is the muscle. So may elaborate pa natin yung mga roles and functions ng mga main parts, no, ng musculoskeletal system. Ayan. So let's start with the first or main they call it parts, ayan, structure, no, ng ating musculoskeletal system, which is the bones. So the most important structure that keeps your body in solid form are your bones. Bones are a big part of your body that are structurally made up of clusters of proteins called collagen and minerals like calcium and calcium phosphate. So we need to remember na bakit yung katawan natin ay it's not like gelatin, no, or anything na walang structure, no. It's because of our bones, no? Kaya tayo meron tayong solid form dahil dun sa bones natin. At nakukuha ng bones natin yung unique na characteristic nito or structure na ito na magiging solid niya or hard ay dahil sa mga bumubuo sa kanya ng mga materials. So we have yung protein na tinatawag nating collagen, no? To be specific, we call that collagen na nasa bones natin. And of course, other minerals like calcium and calcium phosphate. So yun yung mga structure or materials na bumubuo sa bones natin. And these materials then join and work together to give our bone its compact and sturdy characteristic. Yan, as you can see, unique yung bones natin. It's not like other organs in our body na soft or what they call it, smooth na yung mga tissues. Ito ay solid. It's compact and at the same time sturdy in its characteristic. Ayan. So that is our bone. Now, though they possess these qualities, yung bones natin, no, na meron pa rin tong another unique characteristic na kahit na nabanggit natin kanina na sturdy siya, compact, no, another characteristic of our bone ay hollow, no? hollow within or empty siya sa loob niya, no? Maybe you're already aware, yung pag kinat natin yung bones natin, you will see na meron siyang empty part. Actually, may image tayo mamaya para mas maintindihan natin. Meron siyang empty part sa loob na yun, but not exactly empty, no? Merong mga nakalagay doon sa loob na, at may function din bakit ganun yung design, kumbaga, or structure ng bones natin, no? This is because bones are also important sites of your body that produce blood, contain numerous blood vessels and bone marrows that all help aid in several functions within your system. So that's why it's hollow, because dun sa loob ng part or empty part ng bones natin, nandun yung at tinatawag natin na mga bone marrow, at the same time yung mga blood vessels. And we will emphasize yung function nito later on. Ayan. And there are total of 206 bones within our body. Each of them consisting unique characteristic and functions, but despite its number, bones are lightweight in nature, giving you the ability to easily carry them around. So, you all know, di ba, na meron tayong 206 bones, and itong 206 bones na to, hindi naman sila pare-parehas, no? They are all different in shapes, in characteristic, and at the same time, their function, and of course, yung location din nila iba-iba din, no? Pero kahit na sobrang dami ng bones sa katawan natin, just imagine 206, pero another unique characteristic of our bone ay lightweight siya in nature. Okay? So sabi nga dito, giving you the ability to easily carry them around. Ayan. So that is our bone. And another, no, since there are several kinds of bones found within your body, its structure also come in several variations. But, no, kahit na iba-iba yung bones natin, nabanggit ko nga kanina, may mga bones pa rin tayo na halos may pagkakapareha, no? Like yung sinabi dito, no? Bones that are found within your limbs or actual skeleton are made up of two main parts. And these are, ayan, we call it shaft or the diaphysis and growth plate or spongy bone. Ayan, so yun yung bones na nakikita natin sa limbs natin. So meron silang dalawang two main parts. Ayan, na tinatawag nating shaft or the diaphysis and growth plate or spongy bone. So yung shaft, ay napakasimple lang. Let's use this image, no? Shaft is the long part and long straight part na ito. This is what we call shaft or the diaphysis. Ayan. And then growth plate naman or spongy bone is here. Ayan. So this is on top of the shaft that start off as soft, spongy, and grows off as maturity begins and are transformed into mature bone structures that are more compact and hard. Ayan. So tinawag siya na spongy bone dahil sa characteristic niya na soft bone pa lang ito. No? Pero of course, hindi naman siya nagsistay na soft bone or spongy bone. Pag nag-mature na tong bone na ito, mas nagiging compact na siya at hard. Kaya siya tinawag na growth plate and spongy bone or spongy bone. Okay? So that's the two main parts of the bones, no, in our actual skeleton. Ayan. And another, no, other parts of the bone that are found within its hollow structure. Although nabanggit ko na kanina yung bone marrow and blood vessels na makikita natin sa loob, no, ng bones natin. So let's use this picture or image, no. Ito yung nabanggit natin kayo na shaft, yung pahabang yan. Ito yung spongy bone. Ayun yung malapit na image natin. And ito nga yung ating bone marrow. So hindi siya talagang empty, no, yung bones natin. Although hindi naman siya pure na bones kasi meron tayong bone marrow dyan. And of course, you can see all the blood vessels. So yan. No, yung structure ng bones natin. Now, let's proceed. Let's talk about the structural importance of bones or yung roles and functions ng bones natin. So the first is for protection. Ayan. Bones have the capacity to contain several internal organs and blood vessels within the body. They serve as the structure that holds these vital organs in place. Without bones for protection, your insides will be exposed to danger and deformation, making you prone to a long list of bodily complications. So, napakahalaga ng role ng bones natin, especially for protection, no? Dahil hindi lang, of course, first of all, yung pag-hold niya, no, sa mga vital organs natin, kaya hindi namumove, no, yung mga internal organs natin in other places ng katawan natin kasi naka-fix na sila or they're surrounded by our bones, no? Kumbaga, keeping these internal organs in place. Ayan. And because of that, dahil surrounded sila ng bones natin, yun din yung way ng bones natin in protecting these vital organs. No? Kapag wala tayong bones, exposed na yun yung mga vital organs natin, which is really dangerous. No? And we are vulnerable or pwede tayong magkaroon ng any problem pag ganun yung nangyari sa atin if exposed yung mga vital organs natin. Okay? So, we have examples here of bones na isa sa mga role nila ay protecting no yung mga vital organs natin or critical organs natin. So we have the rib cage, of course, which mainly protects the heart, lungs, and other vital organs. And then the skull, which protects the brain. The spinal column, which protects the spinal cord, and the pelvic bones, which protect the reproductive organ. So they are different in shape pa lang, no? In location, iba-iba din. Pero one of their parang role, no, is protecting itong mga nabanggit natin ng mga critical organs. So ganun ka laki yung role no ng bones natin in protecting no yung mga organs na to na hindi simple lang no if may mga accident, ito yung mga ayaw nating natatamaan or napupuruhan because once na na-hit lang siya ng any impact no it will be hard para makasurvive pa tayo or yung ibang tao if nangyari yun without this no kumbaga system no itong bones natin na nagpo-protect sa mga organs na ito. Okay? That's the first. And second is body shape. They serve as the support and frame of your body that without bones, you would be gelatinous in nature, crawling around without form, just like amoeba. So if you're familiar with amoebas, ayan, shapeless sila, wala sila exact shape. So magiging ganun daw tayo para din tayong gelatin. No, we don't have structure, we don't have support, we don't have frame. So ano na lang magiging itsura ng katawan natin if we don't have bones? Because bones gives us body shape. Ayan. And at the same time, yung bones natin ay unique din. Nabanggit natin kanina, no? Mas may emphasize pa natin yan. Since it has the ability to give your distinct shape and form, body shape therefore becomes unique for every individual. So unique yung body shape natin because we have different bone structure. May mga bone structure na longer, no, wider or bulkier. Yun ngayon yung nagbibigay ng shape, no, or tinatawag natin na body type. Your shape is different from other people because of factors like hereditary traits, ethnicity, and gender. In fitness, these shapes and physically visible characteristics that people have are known as body type. So yun yung mga factor like hereditary traits na namamana natin sa magulang natin. If you notice kung puro matatangkad yung nasa yung parents natin and family natin, malaki yung chance na ganun din tayo kasi ganun yung bone structure nila. No, pwedeng mamana natin yun kaya mas longer din yung bone natin, no? Thinner yung bone natin, yung mga ganun. So factor din yung ethnicity, pinanggalingan natin, and yung gender. So ano nga ba yung mga body types na meron tayo? Ayan. So we have 3 types or classification. We have ectomorph, endomorph, and mesomorph. So ectomorph is a body type described to have a thin and long bone structure. Ayan, as you can see here, ayan, ectomorph, ayan, ectomorph din to. Nakikita natin matangkad, no? Pero hindi ganun ka-bulky yung kanilang or wide yung kanilang body or yung body type nila. Kasi thin and long lang yung bone structure ng mga sa ectomorph, magpo-fall sa ectomorph classification. And endomorph, a body type which has bulkier and bigger bone structure. So you can see, ayan, bulky and bigger yung kanyang, what they call it, yung body or yung body type niya. Ganon din dito. Ayan. So this is endomorph. And last is mesomorph, a body type that's leaning on the muscular side or physique. Ayan, yung nasa gitna. No? Muscular side and physique, yan naman yung mesomorph. So, dahil dito, masasabi talaga natin na unique yung body type natin. Kaya if you're going out, if you will go out and then, let's say, punta kayo ng palengke, ganyan, you will see na iba-iba talaga, no? There are people na matatakad, iba na mas laki yung ng build ng katawan nila, iba naman mas shorter. So, ang factor doon ay dahil iba-iba yung bone structure natin. That's why we are different, no? We are distinct. Ayan. And ang reason doon ay dahil sa bones natin. So siya yung may factor, kumbaga yung structure ng bones natin yung mahindahilan sa body shape natin or sa body type na meron tayo. Okay? So next is movement. another roles and function of our bone. Bones are able to generate and transfer forces to individual parts of your muscles, tendons, ligaments, and joints. With this function, they also serve as places for attachment for several muscles found within your body. This ability of bones give you the capacity to perform push and pull actions and the chance to perform a lot of other complex movements like jumping, running, swimming, among others. Also, without bones, your muscles, ligaments, and tendons will not be pulled in their directions. So, yung role din, of course, ng bones natin for movement. So that without bones, movement will be impossible. As in, hindi talaga tayo makakagalaw, no? Because our bones' main function is to produce movement, not to transfer force in different parts of our body, muscles, and connective tissues para makagalaw tayo. So just imagine if we don't have bone, mga banggit kanina, we're parang I cannot imagine yung movement natin. Kaya naman napakalaki ng role talaga ng bones natin when it comes to movement. Okay? Lalong-lalo na sa physical fitness because the key ingredient in physical fitness is movement. No, kaya isa 'yun sa mga kumbaga main no na reason why yung musculoskeletal system natin ay napaka-importante, and connecting it to physical fitness, or let's say generally physical education, because without this system, no, hindi tayo makakagalaw, no? There will be movement or any actions na magagawa ng katawan natin. So that's the third structural importance. And last is for blood production, no? Remember that bones are structured, sturdy, and hollow, nabanggit natin kanina. Aside from containing many blood vessels, these hollow walls of bones are actual sites where blood is produced. Ever heard of bone marrow? No, yung nasa loob na nabanggit natin kanina. This is the material found within the hollow walls of your bones, which are responsible for producing different kind of blood cells. These blood cells are especially help in protecting your body from foreign bodies like white blood cells, in distributing oxygen and nutrient-rich blood through your entire system, red blood cells, and as well as aid in blood clotting ability of your tissues, or we call it platelets. So yan yung mga iba't ibang blood cells. We're not, yung bone marrow natin, hindi na siya nagpo-produce ng isang kind, kundi iba't ibang different kind na meron tayo. So lahat yan, syempre may iba't ibang functions sila, nabanggit natin kanina, like white blood cells, red blood cells, and platelets. So yun din yung role ng bones natin. So just imagine, it's not just for movement, it's not just for body shape or protection, even yung production ng blood natin ay role din, or yun din yung function ng bones natin. Okay, so ganun kalaki no yung role ng ating bones. Ayan. So now, let's talk about the factors that affects bone degeneration. So we all know yung structures and we all know the function. Ano naman yung mga factor na nakakaapekto bakit may mga bones no na nanghihina? Ayan, or we call it bone degeneration, nasisira. Ganyan. So ano ba yung mga ilan sa mga factor or common factor? First is age. Actually, age ang pinaka-malaking factor nagko-contribute ng bone degeneration, no? As you age, your bones slowly lose its density. When we say bone density loss, ayan, yung nalulus ng density yung density ng bone natin, it means that kulang na yung nutrition or mineral na naa-absorb ng bones natin. Hindi na siya sapat. Kaya nanghihina na ngayon or nagiging weak na yung bones natin because of that problem, no? This then makes your bones stiff. Kapag kulang yung mineral, naging stiff yung bones natin, and it ultimately leads you to changing your overall posture and structure. Affected yung posture natin ngayon. So you can see kapag tumatanda yung isang tao, di ba? Especially sa mga babae, ayan, we will really lose yung affected yung posture natin. So as you slowly lose the density of your bone, it also becomes less compact and sturdy, making you more prone to bone breakage. That's why, malaking factor ng age. Second is injury. No, injuries can be caused by many factors like accidents, weak bones. They can come in different forms like the ones in this example, no, like yung bone fracture. Iba't ibang types ng bone fracture depende dun sa force or accident na na-encounter natin. Now, kapag napabayaan natin itong mga fracture na to, injuries na to, so nabanggit dito, If left untreated, these bones or bone injuries may cause calcium deposits found within your bones, no? Yung calcium, 'di ba? Nasa bones natin 'yon. So nagkakaroon ng calcium deposit, no? To leak into other parts of your body. So nagkakaroon ng leakage. Continuous leakage of these calcium deposits within other parts of your body may further break or destroy other bones, muscles, tendons, and ligaments that may cause you more problem. That's why it is advisable that if such incidents occur, you immediately need to seek medical attention. So ganun kalaki yung impact nito, no? Kapag nagkaroon ng, pag napabayaan yung bone fracture na ito, na hindi tayo agad nag-seek ng help from doctors or other medical attention, pwedeng mag-lead pa yan ng other problem, like yung tinatawag natin na calcium deposit. Or in other terms, tinatawag na calcification, yung pag-leak ng calcium sa ibang parts ng body natin na pwedeng maapektuhan or masira yung mga like other organs or muscles or bones na matatamaan niya or maapektuhan niya. That is the second factor. Third is bone density loss. And although nabanggit na natin ito kanina, pero let's emphasize what is bone density loss. Bone density loss is a condition in which bones lose their calcium and other mineral content, making them more prone to injuries and diseases. It was mentioned that age plays a major role for this process to occur. No, napakalaki ng role ng age natin kasi habang tumatanda tayo, nagiging mabagal yung pag-absorb ng body natin ng mga minerals and other nutrients. Kahit kumain pa tayo, dahil naging nanghihina na yung katawan natin. So you will notice din yan sa mga lolo't lola natin, no? So ganun kalaki ngayon yung factor, yung impact ng age sa atin. Kaya nagkakaroon ng bone density loss. Kulang or hindi na sapat yung calcium or minerals na na-absorb ng bones natin na nag-lead ngayon ng bone density loss. So itong bone density loss na may tinatawag tayo na other terms nito. Yung common siya sa pangalan na osteoporosis. Ayan. So this condition is known as osteoporosis and it is more common for females than males. When women have deficiency of calcium and vitamin D, bones lose their structure and slowly deteriorate in the process, making it brittle and prone to breakage. As you can see here, napakalaki ng difference ng bones na healthy at bones na merong osteoporosis. Brittle at prone to breakage yung may osteoporosis or bone density loss. As you can see, kumbaga konting impact lang from the outside pwede nang magkaroon ng fracture ito kasi napaka brittle na and weak na ng bones na ito compared to this healthy bone, na healthy and kumbaga enough yung calcium and minerals na nandito sa healthy bones na ito. Okay, so ganun ka grabe yung tinatawag natin na bone density loss that it will really papahinain talaga niya yung mga bones natin kapag kulang yung minerals and other nutrients na na-absorb natin. So papasok naman doon yung pang-apat na factor which is nutrition. So kahit hindi pa tayo ganun katanda, na hindi din tayo ligtas kumbaga. So malaking factor yung kinakain din natin. The food that we eat can affect your bones, Learning about the foods that are rich in calcium, vitamin D and other nutrients that are important for your bones health is important. Ayan. So, ano nga ba yung mga food na yun? Kasi since malaki pala yung factor, nakaka-apekto pala yung kinakain natin, then we need to know ano ba yung mga pagkain na yun na rich in calcium and vitamin D. So, we have few examples na nandito. Dairy products like cheese, bread, and milk are good sources of calcium, while broccoli and sardines are food sources that contain high doses of vitamin D. And so, ito yung mga pagkain. Example lang to, few example, but if may mga food na hindi natin gusto dito, you can still try and search other list. Pero actually yung mga to ay common din siya. So if you're looking for food na good source ng calcium, ay pwede itong mga to dairy products. You can add this to your meal, para meron tayong source, kumbaga, good source ng calcium and of course, vitamin D. Ayan. So ito yung mga factors ulit na nakaka-apekto nagko-cause ng bone degeneration. Ayan. So we need to be careful and we really need to take care of our bones. It doesn't mean na compact siya, sturdy siya, solid siya, ay wala nang kumbaga other ways para manghina yung bones natin. So madaming factor na nakaka-apekto sa panghihina ng bones natin. Okay? Now, let's talk about the second main parts of our musculoskeletal system, which is the connective tissues. Ayan. Unlike bones that are hard and sturdy, connective tissues are structures of the musculoskeletal system that are made up of fibrous and elastic materials. So these connective tissues are ligaments, tendons, and joints. Ayan. So yung bone natin, di ba, it's sturdy, ayan, hard. Ngayon, ayun ang kaibahan nitong connective tissues kasi nabebend naman natin to. Elastic naman siya. No? Itong ligaments, tendons, and joints. So let's start with, ano ba yung ligament? Ano bang purpose or role ng ligament? So these connective tissues are part of the musculoskeletal system which attaches bone to another bone. So take note of that. Bone to another bone, yun yung kinoconnect, no, ng ligaments. Kaya siya tinatawag na connective tissues. They're connecting different part of our body, no? So, ina-attach na yung bone natin to another bone. While tendon, yun naman, these are connective tissue structures that attach bone to muscle. So, yun yung pinagkaiba nila. Ligaments, bone to another bone. Tendons, bone to muscle. Okay? How about joints? So these are connective tissue structures in which bones meet. So nakikita yung bones natin and are surrounded by pockets of synovial fluid that provide several range of motion possible. So ito na yung example natin ng joints. Kung saan nakikita yung ating mga bones. So you can see, no, itong ligament na banggit natin kanina connecting bone to another bone. Ayan. So you can see, ayan, magkadikit sila. And then bone to muscle naman or muscle to bone, ito namang si tendon. Okay? So we can find this, yung joints, no, yung mga joints na tinatawag natin. Nakahanap natin yan in different parts of our body, hindi lang sa tuhod natin, no? We have joints in our shoulders, elbows, wrists, hips, and knees nga, and feet, no? We need to remember that without these joints, daily movements like pushing, pulling, lifting, or dropping objects are not or is impossible. Yun yung mangyayari no, kapag affected yung bones or yung connective tissues natin. Affected din yung movement natin. So, hindi lang naman si bones ang nagbo-work dyan. All of them, they're all working together that if one parts lang, one parts lang ng system na ito ang mag-fail, affected na lahat, especially when it comes to movement. Okay? So, that is our connective tissues. Yung role niya na pag-connect, no? Without the connective tissues, hiwa-hiwala yan, no? Hindi din magiging posible yung movement ng body natin. Just imagine kung hindi magka-connect yung bones natin or yung muscles and bones natin. Of course, yung movement talaga ang pinaka-primary na maapektuhan. Okay? So that is connective tissues. Now, let's talk about absolute strength and relative strength. Ayan. So, this is really important to know then, and this is also part of paano nagpa-function yung body natin. Ayan. So, let's start with absolute strength. Absolute strength refers to the maximum amount of force a person can exert with his or her maximum effort. Example, when you are able to lift a maximum number of weight, kilograms or pounds, only in one attempt, you have absolute strength. Greater amounts of absolute strength favors those with higher body weight and in general, larger individual. So we need to remember this. Sa absolute strength, we're talking about yung maximum amount of force. No? Kaya ang pinaka may advantage na pag masasabi mo ng pinaka mas mataas, no, greater na absolute strength ay yung mga tao na mas malalaki yung katawan. No, we know that, 'di ba? Kapag mas malaki yung katawan ng isang tao, mas nakakapagbuhat siya ng mas mabigat. Diba? Nakakabuhat siya ng mas mabigat kapag absolute strength. Kaya nga, when it comes to sports like weightlifting or powerlifting, yung example tayo dito, ayan, mas may advantage kapag larger yung body or yung muscles ng isang tao. No? Because if you have a larger body or muscles, you're able to carry or lift yung greater or higher amount of load. Ayan. So kung ano yung pinaka-maximum na kaya mong buhatin in just one attempt lang, no? Yun yung ating maximum, yun yung ating absolute strength. Okay, for example, I'm only able to carry, let's say, 20 kilo. Sabihin, example lang to ha. And say 20 kilos, ibig sabihin yun lang yung kaya kong buhatin. Ibig sabihin, yun yung absolute strength ko. So may mga tao na iba-iba, no? Tayong lahat iba-iba yung kumbaga kaya nating i-exert, no, na produce na strength. So yun ngayon yung tinatawag natin absolute strength. Kaya nga may mas advantage yung mas larger yung body or yung may higher body weight when it comes to absolute strength. Ayan. So yun naman yung pinagkaiba nila ni relative strength. So paano naman si relative strength? This is referring to the amount of strength an athlete has when compared to his body's weight. Relative strength is tested primarily during gymnastic activities. Kanina nabanggit natin sa absolute strength is kapag mas larger yung body mo, mas may advantage ka. In absolute strength yun ha, no? In relative strength, hindi. No? It doesn't matter if you have larger body or if you have smaller na body. In relative strength, hindi yun yung basihan. Example natin dyan, yung sa gymnastic. In gymnastic, there are athlete na hindi naman ganun kalaki yung katawan. May athlete din na gymnast din na maliliit lang yung katawan. Iba naman sakto lang. But hindi natin ma-assess yung strength nila just by looking at their size ng katawan nila. Right? But based on their performance. Okay, actually in gymnastic, mas may advantage pa pag mas maliit yung katawan natin, di ba? So we cannot say that, especially in relative strength, that minsan kasi we have this idea that if you have a larger body, you're stronger. No? But in physical fitness, hindi siya applicable sa lahat ng situation. Especially if you're talking about relative strength, hindi siya applicable. Pag pinaglaban mo sa gymnastic yung weightlifter, yung katawan niya, malaking mga muscles niya, pinasali mo sa gymnastic, do you think makakaya niyang gawin yung mga ginagawa ng mga gymnast? Or let's say, other example, sa marathon, let's say sprint. Pa-joinin natin sa sprint yung tao na malaki yung katawan, malaki yung, kasi matangkad siya, so laki talaga ng katawan niya pang weightlifting talaga, so pang bodybuilder. Do you think makakaya niyang matapos yung takbo na yun or manalo dun sa sprint na yun? Hindi, di ba? So, you will see there yung difference ng strength. Kaya hindi talaga pwedeng maging basis yung if you have a larger body, you're stronger. It depends. No, let's clarify that it depends on the strength that you are looking for. If you're yung basis natin. If we're talking about absolute strength, then you're right. If you have a stronger body, if you have a larger body rather, you are stronger. But in relative strength, hindi siya ganon. Okay? So let's have this example. If you take a 225-pound athlete and a 150-pound athlete, and they can both produce an equal amount of total force, then the lighter athlete has far higher relative strength. Ayan. Isa-isahin natin para hindi nakakalito. No? So nagtawag tayo ng dalawang athlete, 225-pound and 150. Clearly, magkaiba sila ng weight. Yung isa mas mabigat, yung isa mas magaan. Ngayon, pinagawa natin sila ng activity. Parehas lang, no? Para fair. Parehas na activity yung pinagawa natin sa kanila. At ang result na lumabas, pantay lang sila ng na-exert na force. Yung napoproduce na force ni 225 pound at 150 ay parehas lang. Now, let's interpret, no? Let's interpret yung result ngayon dito. Now, we can say that based on the result na nakuha natin, the lighter athlete, yung 150 pound, yung mas maliit, ay mas mataas or mas higher yung kanyang relative strength. Okay, wait lang para mas maintindihan natin kung nalilito pa tayo. Bakit naging ganon? Bakit nasabi natin na mas higher yung relative? Pantay lang naman sila ng total force. Saan nanggaling yun? No? Again, babalik tayo sa weight nila. Even though 225 pound ay mas larger yung body niya compared kay 150, kumbaga in this situation, napapantayan ni 150 pound athlete yung force na e-exert ni 225 pound kahit mas maliit siya. Nakuha, no? So let's clarify that, no? Kaya importante na malaman natin yan, even though pareho sila ng napoproduce na amount or total force. In their case, no, magkaiba sila ng weight, which tells us na si 150 napapantayan niya yung nagagawa ni 225 pound na athlete na force kahit siya ay mas maliit. No, mas ano yung lighter yung weight niya compared kay 225 pound. So that's how we actually that's relative strength. No, hindi basis ang if you have larger body you are stronger. Okay, actually in relative strength you can try computing na yung relative strength ng isang tao. Just get the total force, yung nakuha nilang total force, and divide that to their current weight. So yung result doon, yun yung magiging relative strength. Na kung ano yung mas mataas, siya yung mas may higher na relative strength. Yung lower na score, siya naman yung mas may lower, of course, na relative strength. So ganun lang natin siya kinukuha. Now, what is the importance of these two? No? Strength, absolute and relative strength. So nabanggit ko na kanina, importante ito para malaman natin that in physical fitness or in sports, hindi para-parehas ang basis ng strength ng isang tao. Okay, if you're going to join weightlifting or powerlifting, ang basis mo ng strength dyan is absolute strength. But if you're joining gymnastic, marathon, yung mga ganun, na hindi naman basis yung if you have larger body or stronger, then that is relative strength. Okay? So, pwedeng nagpo-function ka, pwedeng strong ka kahit malit naman yung katawan mo. No, like let's say sprint, 'di ba? Ang papayat ng katawan nila, no, pero it doesn't mean na mahina yung katawan nila. They are strong. Iba nga lang yung strength nila, hindi nga lang ganoon kalaki yung katawan nila or yung size ng muscles nila compared to other athlete or player or sabihin natin weightlifter. Okay, so that's the difference between absolute strength and relative strength. Ayan, example pala natin dito for relative strength. And now, let's move to the last part of the musculoskeletal system, which is the muscle. So in muscle, we have, of course, yung structure and functions ng muscle natin. So there are different kinds of muscle available within the body, and they differ in shape, functions, locations. And we have 3 kinds of muscles. No, katulad ng bones natin, iba-iba din yung function, yung shape nila, and yung location ng muscles natin. So meron tayong 3 kinds no, ng muscles natin. We have skeletal, we have smooth, and we have cardiac muscle. So let's start with the skeletal muscle. Skeletal muscles are the muscles that you use for movement. Skeletal muscles are distinct in their shape because they are long and cylindrical, allowing your body to move and perform work. So when it comes to movement, ang primary muscles na nagpa-perform or nagpa-function dyan ay yung ating skeletal movement. Or muscles, ayan, skeletal muscles yung primary may function when it comes to movement. Kaya tayo nakakagalaw dahil yun sa ating skeletal muscle. And yung unique or dahil din yun sa distinct the shape ng muscle na ito. Kasi yung shape niya ay long and cylindrical. So we can compare that parang strand siya ng hair. No, we actually have a image later on para mas maintindihan natin. And these muscles or yung skeletal muscles natin are also voluntary in nature. When I say voluntary in nature, meaning you can control when they will move and how fast they will move. They are controlled by the brain and the nervous system, and they help you in generating actions and movements in your everyday life. So when we say voluntary, you can control it to if you want to move a certain part of your body, let's say paa natin, kamay natin, pwede yan, no? If you want to stop moving, pwede mo ding kontrolin. We can also control yung how fast, gano'n yung pacing natin, kung mabagal ba yung paglalakad natin, sobrang bagal, mabilis, or sobrang bilis. So yun yung mga nagagawa natin. That is because it's voluntary in nature. Ayan, yung tinatawag natin na skeletal muscle. Okay, so now, let's talk about the essential part of the skeletal muscle. We actually have 4. We have connective tissues, myofibril, muscle fiber, and motor unit. So again, these are essential parts no ng ating we're still talking about skeletal muscle. Ayan. So let's discuss yung myofibril. Ayan. The myofibrils are the smallest structure of the muscles, and there are millions of myofibrils located within your muscle. So in simple terms no or tawag dito, meaning yung pinakamaliit na structure ng muscles natin ay yung myofibril. At madami yan sa katawan natin, as you can see, no, hindi lang ito yung nabanggit ko kanina no na yung shape niya ay long and cylindrical. So this is just one part or piece of all the myofibrils that nasa tabi niya. So this is just one muscle ha. Let's say this is your legs. So legs pa lang yan, meron pa tayong ibang mga muscles sa body natin. So just imagine kung gaano kadami yung myofibrils na meron sa katawan natin. No, kaya we have millions of myofibrils located within our muscles. And this structure are packed together to form muscle groups that make up the totality of your skeletal muscle. So naka-group sila. At kapag naka-group na yung mga, as you can see, ay nakadikit-dikit sila no, by group. Parang may container sila. Ayun. So, pag naka-group naman na yung mga myofibril natin, tinatawag na natin tong muscle fiber. So, muscle fibers are groups of myofibrils that contract and relax through movement. Just like your myofibril, there are also millions of these muscle fibers located in different parts of your body. Ayan. As you can see, yung isang ganitong part na to, ayan, yan yung tinatawag natin ng muscle fiber kasi group na siya. No? Kumbaga parang naka-bundle na sila, naka-pack na sila. So we also have millions of muscle fibers, ha? Millions of myofibril at yan, kahit na-group ko may millions din yung ating mga muscle fibers. Okay? And the next is we have connective tissue, or we call it epimeseum. Ayan. Epimeseum are structures responsible for covering these bundles of myofibril. Without the epimeseum, muscles will spread apart and will not be pulled together efficiently. No? So ito naman yung role ng connective tissue is to, of course, cover. Ayan, itong bundle ng mga myofibril para hindi sila magkalat-kalat or mag-spread. No? So napaka-importante ng role niya para kapag gumalaw tong muscles na ito, sabay-sabay silang gagalaw. Walang part ng myofibril natin na mahihiwalay. No? So uniform yung movement nila. And that's because of this covering or epimeseum. And last, we have the motor units. So the motor units are nerves connected to these muscle fibers, and these are parts of your skeletal muscles that are responsible for transmitting chemical energies to your spine and brain, which are the control centers of your body. When these motor units send signals to these channels, movements and reactions become possible. So kaya natin na-control yung ating mga muscle fiber. It's because of through the help of our motor unit na nagsisend, nagtatransmit ng mga signals from our brain to our spine, tapos marireceive yan through these branches of motor unit, marireceive yan ng mga muscle fiber. At magre-react na ngayon yung mga muscle fiber natin ngayon. Mag-move na yan kung ano man yung movement na sinabi natin or inisip natin or ginusto natin gawin. So, because of the signal na na-receive natin, magre-react yung mga itong muscle fiber natin to tawag doon, follow kung ano man yung na-receive natin na message, whatever movement na yung gagawin niya. And that is because of our motor units. Okay? So that is, again, the essential parts of our skeletal muscle. Now let's move to the second, which is the cardiac muscle. Ayan. From the previous lesson, you already know that the heart, yung heart natin, is a specialized type of muscle in the body. So we're talking about our heart, or the cardiac muscle. These muscles are controlled by the functions of the brain and they work non-stop even while we are asleep. So, kanina nabanggit natin na yung skeletal muscle ay voluntary in nature. It means we can control it. Ngayon, ang cardiac muscle naman ay involuntary. So, when we say involuntary, hindi natin siya controllable or intentionally we can control it. If we want to stop your heart from beating, you want to slow down, ayan. Yung mga ganong situation, hindi natin nagagawa yun kasi involuntary siya, meaning non-stop yung pag-work niya, yung function niya. Kahit natutulog pa tayo, naglalaba, naghuhugas ng pinggan, or any activities na ginagawa natin. No? And another thing or characteristic or unique dun sa ating cardiac muscle ay yung pagkakaroon niya ng makapal or thick and sturdy na muscle cell. Ayan. Para masuportahan yung pumping actions ng heart natin. Kasi dahil non-stop yung pag-pump ng heart natin, ibig sabihin talagang every seconds, nagpo-pump yan. Kaya that's the reason why mas makapal, yung muscle cell ng ating cardiac muscle compared to the yung dalawang muscle, kind of muscle na meron tayo. Dito, yung cardiac ay mas makapal or thicker and sturdy yung kanyang muscle cell. Okay, to support, again, the reason behind that is to support the pumping action of our heart. Ayan. And the last kind of muscle is, we call it the smooth muscle. And smooth muscle is also involuntary in nature or involuntary muscle. So these muscles work day in and day out without your effort. They perform their work at a regulated pace even while we are asleep. So yun nga yung, di ba nabanggit ko na kanina yung involuntary, kahit hindi mo kinakontrol, automatically nag-work talaga siya based on dun sa function niya. And another thing about smooth muscle ay thin and smooth yung kanyang muscle cell. Compared dun sa cardiac muscle na makapal na ito, thin and smooth lang. And that, itong muscle cell na to, itong smooth muscle natin, contract siya, no? Yung process niya when it comes to digesting food, moving food, food and waste product out from our body when we have consumed food or liquid products. Ayan, so example natin yung stomach natin. No? So, that is example of smooth muscle. Kaya, hindi ganoon naman kakapal yung muscle cell dito. Ayan, ng ating smooth muscles. So, yun yung tatlong or 3 kinds na muscles na meron tayo. No? And remember, each muscle type is unique and each performs different functions within our body. They all work hand in hand with your brain and spinal cord to allow you to become efficient and healthy. So, lahat sila, yung nabanggit natin kayo na iba-iba yung function nila, di ba? Unique sila. May mga ilan na pagkakapareha sila, pero again, they are all unique. May mga differences pa rin sila, like dito, yung muscle cell nila magkakaiba din, no? Mas thicker, mas makapal yung sa cardiac compared dun sa mga, ayan, skeletal muscle cell and smooth muscle cell. But the tawag doon, they work hand in hand, sabi nga dito. Isa lang yung hindi mag-function ng maayos, affected lahat. Kaya we need to take care lahat ng mga muscles natin, hindi lang isa. No? Without these muscles, your body would have a hard time maintaining its chemical processes, ultimately leading you to experience disease and other health complications. So yun na nga. If you're tawag doon, left or leave this muscles na hindi natin inaalagaan, no? Of course, affected talaga yung ating katawan. No? Yung magkakaroon tayo, experience tayo ng mga malalang sakit na connected sa mga muscles natin or other health complications. And we don't want that. Right? So that is our muscles. I hope that's clear. Yung function or yung structure and functions ng muscles natin. Now let's talk about the two kinds of health conditions na meron tayo when it comes to muscles. And napakasimple lang nito, no? Yung dalawang health conditions. Una, yung tinatawag natin ng muscle hypertrophy. So muscular hypertrophy refers to an increase in muscle mass. This usually manifests as an increase in muscle size and strength. Typically, muscle hypertrophy occurs as a result of strength training, which is why it is normally associated with weightlifting. Due to regular physical activity, your muscles will grow larger in size, making your muscles more defined, giving you relatively fit physique. So, the keyword here is increase in muscle mass. Ayan, pwede nyo gamitin yun, maalala nyo na that it's muscle hypertrophy. We're talking about yung positive or good result ng body natin. Every time that we are doing due to regular exercise or physical activity, nagkakaroon ngayon ng condition na ito, or we call it muscle hypertrophy, o yung pag-increase ng muscle mass, no, ng body natin, pag-increase ng size ng muscle natin, at pag-enhance din or pag-improve ng strength natin. And that is, again, lahat yun ay positive result. No? Kaya nga hindi na tayo nagugulat kapag may isang tao kayo, nag-exercise kayo, you expect, di ba? In-expect natin na lalaki yung katawan natin or mag-i-improve yung strength ng katawan natin. And that is what we call muscle hypertrophy. Okay? At yung opposite naman ng muscle hypertrophy ay yung tinatawag natin na atrophy. No? This condition is in which your muscles decrease in size. Kanina pag-increase, ito naman, pag-decrease. No, which is of course from the sound ay negative, no, hindi naman 'to yung gusto nating mangyari. Pero ano ba yung factor na nagko-cause ng atrophy? So factors like your age, having injuries, and being inactive can cause muscle hypertrophy. Kahit wala kang sakit, kahit hindi pa tayo ganun katanda, pero kung wala tayong masyadong physical activity, nakahiga lang tayo palagi, so pwedeng mangyari mag-result nito yung magkaroon tayo ng or mag-cause ng atrophy or muscle atrophy yung body natin. Yung paghihina, no, ng katawan natin or ng muscles natin. Sabi nga dito, when this happens, your muscles become weak and can no longer perform in their full ranges of motion. So yun nga yung mangyayari. Now, if muscles are progressively left in small size, weakness will further continue and cause further injuries to your body. What you simply need to do, of course, if we're going to improve this, syempre, ayaw naman natin yan na injured tayo, di ba? Dahil humihina na yung muscles natin. So, of course, we want to prevent that. And the answer is, no, to actively move and engage in regular exercise. So, that's how we can improve this. commit yourself to doing regular activity, physical activity, or regular exercises. That's how we can improve yung pag-decrease ng size ng muscles natin. Okay, yun yung dalawang condition ng ating muscles, hypertrophy and atrophy. Okay, now let's talk about the importance of bone stress, or what is bone stress. Ayan. Every time you move or put stress on your muscles or musculoskeletal system, this is called bone stress. Bone stress refers to the amount of force applied to the bone through physical exertion, whether you are only seated or you are doing complex tasks. Whatever physical effort you put your body in, this is known as bone stress because there is constant pressure being placed on your bone. So, when we say bone stress, from the name mismo niya, medyo negative, no? Yung tunog na stress, yun yung iniiwasan natin. Pero, hindi naman lahat ng stress ay negative, katulad nito. No, nagkakaroon ng bone stress every time na may ginagawa tayong physical activity. Kahit yung minimal lang, yung simple lang na pagtayo, paglalakad, pag-upo, merong pressure or force na napupunta sa bones natin. At yun yung tinatawag natin na bone stress. No? Nagkakaiba lang talaga siya ng amount ng force. May iba, sobrang taas ng force, may iba naman sakto lang. No? So dahil yun sa constant pressure na pupunta sa bones natin. So merong bone stress na hindi maganda, yung too much pressure, hindi naman maganda sa bones natin yun. At kapag light naman, kumaga parang wala namang nangyayari, di ba? So we need yung sakto lang, no? Para ma-improve yung ating body, no? Ang pinaka-appropriate na bone stress na kailangan natin ay ayan, exercise and physical activity. That is these are the most appropriate bone stress that we should be applying to our body to help strengthen and make it more efficient. No, yung pag-exercise natin, yun yung healthy na bone stress na kailangan natin, or appropriate na bone stress. No, hindi siya ganun ka intense na to the point na ma-injured ka naman. Not the same time, hindi naman siya ganun ka-light to the point na wala ka namang nararamdaman, wala namang nag-i-improve. No, kapag ginagawa natin itong appropriate bone stress, putting it in yung healthy amount of pressure, nag-i-improve yung bones and muscles natin. So, papasok dyan yung nabanggit natin kanina, which is muscle hypertrophy. Diba? Bakit ba nag-i-improve yung muscle natin? Because of regular exercise. Diba? So, yun yung mangyayari. And this is really important, no? Maganda yung result na nagpagkakaroon ng pressure, healthy amount or appropriate pressure sa bones natin kasi nag-i-improve, nasa-strengthen yung ating bones. Okay? Take note of that. And last, no? So this is the last part. Let's talk about the benefits of exercise to the musculoskeletal system. Ano nga ba yung mga benefit na makukuha natin? No, if we're going to improve yung system na ito, nabanggit na-discuss na natin lahat ng mga structure and function. Siyempre, ngayon pag-usapan naman natin yung benefit kasi most of the time, ito yung reason bakit natin ginagawa yung isang exercise, di ba? Why do we want to improve something? Of course, meron kang hinihintay, no? Meron kang goal. So ano ba yung mga goal na yun or benefits na ito? We actually have 6. So first benefit is na-i-improve yung performance natin. So if you're an athlete, no, doing regular exercise or yan to improve your physical or yung musculoskeletal system natin, na-improve ngayon yung performance natin. And second, injury prevention. The more we have stronger bones, no, or muscles, the more na-prevent natin yung maka-experience tayo ng injury. And of course, wala namang may gustong mangyari yan. No? That's why we need to improve or strengthen yung ating musculoskeletal system para hindi prevented na mapaprevent yung mga injury na ma-encounter natin. And third is body composition or improved body composition. Pwedeng, of course, impact niya, pwede mag-gain ka ng weight if you want to gain weight or lose weight kasi mas nag-improve no, yung muscle mass sa body natin at nababurn yung mga hindi kailangan na fats no, sa katawan natin. So talagang mag-improve yung composition or body composition natin. And fourth, enhance self-image. Siyempre, as you see, no, every time you see yung progress ng ginagawa mo, how you feel, of course, you feel healthy din. Kaya na-enhance din yung self-image natin. You feel confident, no, yung self-esteem, and yung quality of life din natin nag-i-improve. And the fifth is improve muscle and bone health. Of course, because of doing exercises, regular exercises, talaga nasa-strengthen yung muscles at bones natin. Papasok dyan yung bone stress, nabanggit lang natin kanina. no? At hindi lang exercise, even yung kinakain din natin, nabanggit na nga kanina, yung malaking factor din yun, yung nutrients, how, yung, if may good source ba ng calcium, yung kinakain natin, or vitamin D. So that's one reason. And last but not the least ay prevention and management of chronic diseases. So naiiwasan natin yung pagkakaroon ng mga malalang sakit. And marami yan, no, na mga malalang sakit na connected when it comes to musculoskeletal system. So, of course, mahirap naman yun kapag hinintay pa natin dumating yun bago tayo kumilos. So, being proactive is important than reactive, no? Wag na nating hintayin na mangyari ngayon pa lang, ay palakasin na natin yung system na ito para at least maiwasan natin na ma-encounter natin yung mga bagay na yun. Of course, we don't want that to happen. So again, ito yung mga benefit na pwede nating makuha, no, advantages kumbaga, if we will improve our musculoskeletal system. And I know madami pa yan, pero ilan lang naman to, no, sa main kumbaga benefit or common benefit na pwede nating makuha, no, if we will improve this system. At malaking role ng system na ito when it comes to physical fitness. So I hope that you will remember that and understand kung gaano kalaki yung role, no, ng function ng musculoskeletal system when it comes to physical fitness. Okay? So, that's the end of our topic, the musculoskeletal system. Again, this is Miss Angel Melegrito. So, that's the last part ng lesson natin. I hope you learned a lot.